As of this morning, based on preliminary information obtained by the Marin County Fire Investigation Team, the cause of this fire is changing from unknown to suspicious. I would now like to turn this back to Sergeant Justin Graham to elaborate. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Again, my name is Sergeant Justin Graham. I'm with the San Rafael Police Department, and as the Deputy Chief stated, we've gone from unknown to suspicious. And as a result, we're taking this very seriously and using as many resources as possible to investigate what happened and how it happened. We're utilizing resources from the Marin County Fire Investigations Team and the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, who has greatly assisted us with personnel and infrastructure to properly investigate what happened. As you can see behind me, we've had to close off the scene due to the amount of equipment. I just want to let everybody know that we will make every effort to get answers, as our first priority is to be able to provide those answers to the victims that were affected. But it's going to take some time. And as we go through this process, we ask for patience. Additionally, I want to let you know that the two individuals who were reported as missing are still missing. However, they are a top priority for us as well, and we are still working to figure out what happened and where they are. If anybody has any information regarding those two individuals, we ask that they contact the San Rafael Police Department at 415-485-3000. Additionally, we are asking members of the public who are aware of what happened here, who may have cell phone video or photographs, or may have seen how the fire started or when it started, to be able to contact us and let us know what they observed. The ATF has greatly assisted us with a resource. Members of the public can call the ATF tip line at 1-888-ATF-FIRE. Again, that's 1-888-283-3473. Additionally, people with cell phone video or photographs of the incident can upload those to ATF's application called Report It, and that can be found on both app stores, Google and on Apple. You can go onto the app and upload any tips, any information, cell phone video, or photos. Additionally, members of the public can go to the ATF Report It website, which is www.reportit, that's reportit.com. Additionally, I want to also cover the fact that during yesterday's scene, I'm very proud of the first responders that responded to the scene. As Deputy Chief mentioned, it took a lot of resources, and it all worked. Unfortunately, one of our officers was minorly injured during a rescue operation that occurred behind. They are recovering and expected to return to work shortly, but these officers acted heroically in being able to assist people from the back balcony. I also want to extend my appreciation to the community at large. This is a very tight-knit community, and they came to the rescue of very many people here that were at the apartment complex. There were a lot of civilians who put themselves in harm's way, and while normally we'd ask people to not do that, if it wasn't for their efforts, this could have turned out a lot more tragically. So we want to say thank you to the members of the public who came to the aid of their neighbors and assisted them. I also want to thank our law enforcement partners who responded to the scene. That was the California Highway Patrol, the Marin County Sheriff's Office, the Novato Police Department, the Central Marin Police Department, the Marin County Fire Investigation Team, and the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. We're greatly appreciative of the resources that they provided to us, which made what could have been a very chaotic scene, made it work. And so the teamwork in this particular case hopefully saved lives. And having said that, I'm going to turn that over to Quinn Gardner.
Thank you for that. As the investigation into the cause of the fire continues, the city also remains focused with the support of numerous community organizations and partners on how we're going to serve the displaced residents. Currently, we're serving between 50 and 60 displaced residents at our community center that is operating as an overnight shelter. We plan to keep that shelter open through the weekend while we work case by case with each of the individuals and their families to determine what their short and long-term housing needs are and how they can best be supported. We're asking that the public avoid sending any physical donations at this time. We'd ask that anyone wishing to support these families in the immediate and in their long-term recovery donate cash at the Canal Alliance website or gift cards to local businesses where they can buy new clothing, things for children, things like that. So the Canal Alliance is doing all of our cash and gift card donations. So please support our residents in their recovery through that effort. I also just want to take a moment. This truly has been an amazing community and team effort, not just of our first responders, but our community-based partners, including but certainly not limited to the Canal Alliance, the Marin Community Foundation, the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, San Rafael City Schools, the Chamber of Commerce, all of our county partners, St. Vincent's de Paul, Sonoma County Emergency Management, and many others who have all come together to support all of these families and displaced residents on their road to recovery. So with that, I believe we are concluding.
Go ahead and field any questions if there are any.
Can you go over the steps that you're taking to try and actually get into the building? What are your plans for today to see if the two missing people might have been trapped inside?
So our fire investigators, both the Marin County Fire Investigation Team, the San Rafael Fire Department investigator, as well as members of the ATF arson unit, are making evaluations on the structure itself. Again, safety is going to be a priority in that. As you can see behind us, the building is in a relatively unstable shape, so we have to make sure before we put people all the way into the building that it is safe. So they're doing a lot of assessment right now to make sure that we do this correctly and that no one else gets hurt. So it will take some time, and we're bringing in a large amount of equipment to make sure that we do that right and safely. Just a little bit louder, I apologize.
You're right. Can you address the dogs that you brought in?
Yeah, obviously, like I said, we are looking for two individuals, so we are taking every investigative step that we can, and that means if we have to utilize cadaver dogs to do that, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Like I said, we're going to do this correctly and make sure that we cover all the bases. We also are utilizing dogs that will help with determining accelerants or anything else that may have been a part of this fire.
Can you elaborate why is it that the fire has turned into suspicious? Based on what?
So based on the nature of the way that it burned and how fast it burned, it's suspicious in nature. And on top of that, due to the amount of people that were displaced as the result of it, we want to get them answers, so we want to do this right. Lee. Was that? Okay.
Here's if Department has details on the origin of the fire in the building, where it started.
So that's part of this process. So we haven't quite gotten there. We're still in the very early investigative step. Want to make sure that that building is safe. But like I said, we are treating it suspicious so that we do it right moving forward.
Sergeant, are you going to release the names of the people?
Yes, obviously we want to work with the families in doing that. So we will work with the families before we do any of that. Like I said, we have investigative steps that we want to take first, and we also want to prioritize the needs of the family as well. Yes.
People missing, young, older, any type of description?
They're adults, they're not juveniles.
How many cars were damaged? We've been seeing the tow trucks. Any idea or any count?
I think it's about 10 cars. Not all these cars are damaged. What we're doing is we're getting the cars out of the way so that we can return them back to the residents. And we're taking them over to the reunification shelter so that way they can access their vehicle and get their property.
And how many, you mentioned about the being suspicious in terms of the way that the fire moved. How many of the residents have you been able to interview? Have any of them given you any, kind of witness statements or any information that is leading you to suspect this, making this a suspicious scene?
Yeah, so our San Rafael police detectives, along with ATF and Marin County Fire Investigation Team, are all conducting interviews with all the residents. And we are conducting those interviews, and based on some of those interviews, it is also added to what we visually observed when we came on scene, which is a very rapid spreading fire, which just seems suspicious in nature.
You said you were talking to some of the families of the missing individuals. Do the families believe that they were inside their units at the time?
I don't have that specific information right now, but the investigators are working on trying to figure out timelines and everything else as far as that. So our investigators, whenever we have a missing persons report, we go through a timeline to figure out where someone may or may not be and work from there on that lead.
Do you believe that those two missing individuals who live in the same unit or different units?
It appears to be in different units, not related.
Were they upstairs?
I don't have the exact location on that right now. As you can see, the condition of the building, so we're working to figure that out. Anything else? Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So after we're working with the shelter through the weekend, and while doing that, all of our community partners are there right now doing individual case management. We're working to find local hotels that the Chamber of Commerce is supporting us on, and then with the hope of getting everyone into long-term housing. Ideally, we can transition people straight from the shelter into long-term housing, but as everyone knows, Marin's housing stock is limited, so it might take some time to do that. But the city is very committed to assuring that no one becomes homeless because of this issue, and we will continue to provide the services they need.
I also have one last thing. I just want to ask that the public continue to support us in these efforts. We ask that members of the public who aren't residents, please do not come down to this location. We'll take that one from the top. So we ask that members of the public please continue to work with us as they have. We ask that unless you're a resident, please stay out of the area. As you can tell, the scene's quite chaotic. We're going to continue to bring in a lot of equipment. Please check in with local businesses if anyone's doing business down here to see if the appointments are still on schedule. Otherwise, we ask that people stay off of Canal Street between Medway Road and Harbor Street, and that way they also stay off access points, which include Medway Road, Hogue Street, and Harbor Street, so that we can continue to get the resources in here to do a very thorough investigation. And with that, we're going to bring this to a close. Thank you very much for your time.
And next update?
Yeah, so tentatively, and don't hold me to this, tentatively we may be looking at something around 3 o'clock. Yeah, today, yes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for your time.